lasagna. Beyond layered lasagna. Beyond layered lasagna. Beyond layered lasagna. Hello, my loves, and welcome back into my kitchen. I am Gabrielle Reyes, aka One Great Vegan. And this, my loves, is the Colorful Home Cooking Show. This recipe, my loves, is something that you all have been begging for me to create. It is my Beyond Layered Lasagna, y'all. And trust me, it doesn't matter if you are plant-based, vegan, gluten-free, soy-free. It doesn't matter who you are going to love this recipe, I promise. You're not even gonna know that it's vegan, gluten-free, soy-free, and delicious as all get out. So let's get going and let's get glowing, y'all. Okay, y'all know how I start off all of my recipes with onions and what? Onions and oil, because why? Cooking is easy and fun when you sing. Onions and oil can make anything. But today, instead of oil, we're actually gonna be using some veggie broth. I'm going for a little lighter option, especially since we're gonna have all that oil from the Beyond meat in there. Okay, I have my veggie broth and I'm just gonna get about 2 tablespoons. I'm just gonna pour it into my big pot. And I'm also gonna pour it into a medium-sized pot. And what we're gonna do here, right here, we're gonna build our delicious marinara sauce. And in here, we're gonna put our Beyond meat and our spinach. Ooh, y'all. But it all starts off with some veggie broth and then some onions as well. So what I have here are some diced onions. I've just chopped up about 1 onion. I'm gonna put half of the onion in my big pan for my Beyond meat. And then I'm gonna put the other half of the onion in my pot for my marinara sauce. Oh, y'all know what time it is? It's time to saute the onions down. Saute the onions down. Saute the onions down. Saute the onions down. Yes, y'all, we are going to saute the onions down. We're gonna saute these onions down to start getting all that aroma, flavor, and sexiness going. A little tip I like to use anytime I'm starting off a recipe with onions and oil or onions and veggie broth or aquafaba, I always like to sprinkle in just a touch of salt just to help get things going. I'm letting my onions saute down. 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 Ooh, man, this is already starting to smell delicious. So let's add in our tomato sauce. What I have here is 3 cups of organic tomato sauce. And what I've done is I've used tomato sauce that comes straight out of a can, but I like to make sure that anytime I'm using tomatoes that come from a can or pretty much any product that comes from a can, I like to always make sure that's organic and doesn't have any added sugars or spices or sweeteners or anything like that. Because we're gonna add in all of that sweetness and that spiciness and that sexiness when we put in all of our seasoning. I have added in my tomato sauce, and now let's add in our seasoning, y'all. What I have here is some dried parsley and some dried thyme, and that's gonna add some nice earthy flavors into our marinara sauce. I love adding garlic powder and onion powder into all of my classic, true American dishes because it really feels like home cooking. It adds in layers and dynamic flavors that just make every single dish that you add garlic powder and onion powder to so much better. When you're adding in all of your spices and your seasoning into your red marinara sauce, you're gonna wanna make sure to mix everything as you go. That way nothing bubbles on top and splashes all over you in the face. That's not cute, and it's happened to me a couple times. All right, let's add in some minced garlic. I'm gonna be adding in about 2 tablespoons of this delicious, perfect seasoning. I like adding minced garlic into all of my Italian-inspired dishes. It just makes it taste classic and authentically Italian. Smoked paprika, hey, smoked paprika. Y'all know we are about to add in some smoked paprika into our lasagna. Of course, how could we not? So I'm gonna be adding in just a teaspoon of that smoked paprika. It's gonna add that nice hearty smokiness that you want inside of your red hearty marinara. Maple syrup, maple syrup. obsession with adding maple syrup into all of my hearty dishes, especially anything that incorporates tomato. It just adds and balances out all of the seasoning with a little bit of sweetness. Now, let's add in our salt and our pepper just to balance everything out. And then we're gonna pop the top on there and let it simmer and cook and get all kinds of delicious. Mix in your seasoning. Mix in your seasoning. Mix in your seasoning. And that way, if you mix it all in there, everything's gonna have some of those delicious seasonings and spices that you work so hard to add in your pot. Okay? Seasoning is everything. Seasoning is everything. Whoa, seasoning is everything when you're making vegan food. Especially when you're making a marinara sauce. Because sometimes a marinara can come out a little too bitter, but you want to make sure to balance all that seasoning with the sweetness from the maple syrup, with that earthiness from the dried parsley and the dried thyme, and that salt and that pepper is just going to make it perfect for our Beyond Layered Lasagna. So now I have incorporated all of my seasoning and my spices into my hearty marinara sauce. I'm just going to pop the top on here and let it cook and simmer until we're ready to combine everything together. My onions and my veggie broth for my Beyond Meat have cooked down to perfection. And so now I'm going to be adding in my Beyond Meat beef. What I love about this product is, one, it's crazy how much it tastes like beef, y'all. It kind of scares me a little bit, but I know that every single person I make this for is going to love it because of the flavor and that serious heartiness that they figured out how to magically put inside of this Beyond Meat. And also, what is so incredible and so dope about Beyond Meat is that it has no soy in it, no gluten in it, and no nuts in it, y'all. And it has 20 grams, yes, 20 grams of plant protein, y'all. So I am so excited to incorporate it into our lasagna. So I'm just gonna open it around the sides just like that. And then I like to just pop it into the middle of my pan. And then I'm gonna start pressing apart all of those pieces and breaking everything apart. Incorporating it all in with that onions and that veggie broth in there. And y'all are gonna start to be able to smell all of that deliciousness come through. Ooh, y'all, it smells so meaty and so fabulous. Beyond Meat, Beyond Beef, whoa, Beyond Meat, Beyond Beef. I love Beyond Meat, y'all. I have been watching their journey growing as an epic vegan plant-based company since the beginning. And Ace and I are obsessed with their burgers. Seriously, we put them into every single kind of recipe that we want to make super meaty, especially for all of our non-vegan friends or people who are more like plant curious and are interested in eating more colorful, eating more plant-based, eating more vegan. We always like to incorporate Beyond Beef in whatever we are showcasing to them. I'm going to let my Beyond Beef cook in and let it all sink in with all of those onions and that veggie broth. And while I'm doing this, I'm going to start my water boiling for my noodles, and I'm going to let it boil to a nice hot heat, and they're going to add in those noodles and build our Beyond Lasagna, y'all. Another tip I like to tell people to help break apart the Beyond Meat is get yourself a mashing tool, something that can mash potatoes or guacamole, and you're gonna go in here and you're just gonna mash all of that Beyond Beef, and that way it's gonna break apart even easier. Smash your Beyond Beef, smash your Beyond Beef, smash your Beyond Beef. Make sure that your Beyond Beef is smashed and broken apart. That way it'll be so easy to layer it into all of our delicious layers. Ooh, this beef is ready, ready to go. Ooh, this beef is ready, ready to go. Y'all, this beef is ready to go. And what I'm gonna do next, I have a bowl here, and I'm just gonna put my Beyond Beef into a bowl. That way I can use the same pan for my spinach. To start off cooking my spinach, it's gonna be really simple, y'all. I'm just gonna splash in a little bit of my veggie broth. And then I have a big bowl of spinach, y'all. Tons of nutrients in here. Iron, calcium, vitamins, minerals, and especially color. Just load up your big pot full of that beautiful green spinach. Spinach, spinach, spinach time. Spinach, spinach, spinach time. Spinach, oh spinach, spinach time. Poke that spinach down to make sure all of that moisture touches all of those leaves of spinach. But y'all know how spinach do. She's just gonna wilt up nice and quickly for me, and that way I'm gonna be able to layer her onto our layers upon layers of lasagna. Cook the spinach down, 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 cook the spinach down. Ooh. What's great about the spinach being inside of our lasagna, it's gonna add a nice little bit of green freshness in between that meatiness and that cheesiness that we have going on deep in those layers. While my spinach is cooking down and sauteing all nicely, I have my noodles that I'm about to pop into my hot water. Today I'm going to be using Jovial brand, and I love this brand specifically because their facility is 100% gluten-free. And also the noodles, if you cook them just right, they turn out perfectly. So one tip that I love to do whenever I'm specifically cooking with gluten-free noodles is I like to make sure that I only cook those noodles for about 2 to 3 minutes in that hot water. The rest of the cooking we're going to let the baking do, and that butter we're going to layer on top. Make sure that when you are putting the noodles inside of your boiling pot of hot water, you want to make sure to put them in there one at a time. That way they don't get stuck together. Ooh, y'all, follow your heart cheese. If y'all have never tried this brand before, it is incredible. Specifically, there's no nuts in it, there's no gluten in it, there's no soy in it. It is coconut-based cheese, and oh my gosh, it melts perfectly into anything that you want to be ooey gooey, cheesy, and delicious. It's time to build our lasagna now. It's time to build our lasagna now. Whoa, it's time to build our lasagna now. It is time to build our lasagna. And what I have here is a big baking pan that I'm gonna load up with all of my layers. Okay, these noodles are perfect and we are ready to put them into our pan. See how they're still a little bit hard? We want them firm, that way they can lay inside of our lasagna and they're just gonna bake down and be nice and soft whenever we're ready to dig into it. First things first, let's add in a nice beginning layer of our marinara. Just spread that over just like that. Move the pan around to make sure all of that sauce starts off at the bottom. And then you're gonna be adding in your first layer of lasagna. Lay down every piece nice in a row, and that way you'll have beautiful pieces to be able to cut into. Next, let's add in our Beyond beef. Oh, it already smells so delicious, y'all. I'm just gonna pour over my cooked crumbles right on top to create a beautiful layer. It's gonna be that first bottom layer to really solidify the deliciousness that is inside. Next, let's add in some more of our marinara sauce. Spread that sauce around. Try to get it into all those corners. Great. Let's add in our follow your heart mozzarella cheese. A nice layer of 3 all the way across because you want every bite to be cheesy. Let's add in some more noodles. Beyond Layered Lasagna, Beyond Layered Lasagna, Beyond Layered Lasagna, Beyond Layered Lasagna. Y'all can see I am getting out all of my pieces of lasagna with some tongs. That way I don't have to put my fingers in there, and it's a lot easier to grab onto each of those pieces of pasta. Ooh, it is time for that spinach we sauteed up. Let's add in a beautiful layer. Add that spinach. And what's great about this recipe too, y'all, is honestly you can layer this in any order. It don't matter. This is my personal favorite way to get every single bite of morsely fabulous flavor on every single plate that you are serving this to. Spread that spinach around. Make sure that spinach is in every single corner of your lasagna. You want everybody to get a bit of that freshness. Let's add in the rest of that Beyond beef right on top of that spinach, just like that. Because we want every layer, y'all, to be beyond delicious, beyond beautiful, and beyond good for you too, y'all. What's beautiful about this recipe Y'all didn't even realize this, but it's gluten-free, it's soy-free, it's nut-free, it's vegan, it's gluten-free, it's soy-free, it's nut-free, it's vegan. And it is so delicious, y'all. I cannot wait to take a huge bite of this Beyond Layered Lasagna. Let's add in the last of our marinara sauce and then our cheese, y'all. Spread that sauce around. Spread that sauce around. Let's add on another layer of our cheese, y'all. Yes, cheesy, ooey, gooey, and delicious. And last, our final layers of lasagna. Ooh, y'all, look at these layers upon layers, and our cheese is the final thing that we put on top. But before we pop it into the oven, what I've done here is melted down some butter, and I'm just gonna pour it on top, and that way all of those noodles are gonna bake down perfectly. Okay, butter baby, we buttered this baby up, and now we're gonna pop it in the oven at 450 degrees for about 10 to 15 minutes. It's time to feast. It's time to feast. Y'all, it is time to feast because our lasagna is cooked, baked, and ready to go. I'm gonna pop it out of the oven, we're gonna chop it up, and then we're gonna get feasted. Beyond Layered Lasagna. Beyond Layered Lasagna. Look at this, y'all. This is a hearty meal. And what's also beautiful about this recipe, y'all, this is something you can make together with your date for Valentine's Day or a romantic dinner in. Super simple and something y'all can share and just love together. So let's chop into this beautiful lasagna. I'm gonna start off, get myself deep in there. Ooh, look at these layers of cheesy, meaty, saucy, beautiful deliciousness. Oh my gosh. And this cheese is just gonna be so good all the way through. Now, before I serve it up, I always like to end off all of my dishes with a nice little fresh element. So I have some fresh parsley. I'm just gonna sprinkle that on top, just like this. That way, gives it a nice little pop of greenery and color. Look at this, so beautiful. So I'm gonna get myself a spatula and get myself a big piece. Beyond Layered Lasagna. Oh my gosh, I could have not asked for a better piece. Look at that. Beyond Layered Lasagna. Okay, let us bite into this beautiful, decadent meal I made here. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, this is so delicious. So decadent, so hearty. And that little bit of spinach, that layer, just makes everything so much better with its freshness. It's greenery in there. Oh my gosh, y'all. I am about to dig into this for a huge, beautiful meal for me and my loved one. Y'all saw how simple it was to make this Beyond Layered Lasagna. So why don't y'all get yourself in the kitchen, get yourself going, get yourself glowing, and make yourself some Beyond Layered Lasagna, y'all. It is so delicious, and every single person you serve this to is going to be obsessed with it. Thank you so much for tuning in, my loves, and I will see you all next time on the Colorful Home Cooking Show. Beyond Layered Lasagna, Beyond Layered